hit like, and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Good morning, Ekaro family. How are you? Welcome back to Ascending. I am your joyful host coming from Brooklyn today. It is it's the 16th of August, and we have a lot of things to talk about today. But I want to say this part first. The tech issues today are crazy. So I did my prayers already that the tech issues that we've had and the screen freezing and pre-production, that they go away. So we want to welcome you with the faith that this is going to be an amazing show. So let's jump right in. Did I say I'm your happy host, April R. Silver? Yes, I think I did. Oh, I want to say thank you to the to my team, to the A team, to the Marc Lamont Hill official team for sure. And I'm going to put up now what the topic is, right? And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If you are watching on Marc Lamont Hill's Twitter, go over to YouTube. And so here is the topic for the day. You see the screen for those who are watching. If you don't, the topic for the day is the Black arts in today's social media, the good, the bad, and the brain rot. So we're going to start off with the conversation with Marcia Pendleton. We're going to bring her on later in the show, but look at how wonderful and majestic she is. So that's the top part of the conversation around the arts and theater and Black arts and why that's important for our mental health and for just the goodness and richness of our lives. So that's going to be an amazing conversation, right? And then we're going to talk to Star Rock about social media and the brain rot that is just everywhere. This is someone who's been an OG for a minute on the social media scene. So that's the second final segment of the show today. So buckle up, get ready, tell your people to subscribe. To watch, yes, and subscribe. And you can only see Ascending on Marc Lamont Hill YouTube and also Marc Lamont Hill Twitter. So we thank you for watching for sure. So let's do what we always do. Well, actually, family, we're going to go a little bit out of order, right? We usually do Bookmark and then we do Black Media Shout Out. We're going to do those, but I want to do a special pennant, right? The pennant that we're doing at the top of the show and not at the bottom is a shout out to the Bronx Knights youth tackle football and cheerleading organization. I meant to talk about this organization. I'm a founding member of the board of this organization. And I meant to talk about it before, about the fundraiser for this amazing youth-centered organization in the Bronx, New York. There's a fundraiser. I'm so happy about this organization because the transformative work in the lives of the students, the boys and girls ages 16 to 14, is of note. It is worthy of your attention. It is worthy of your $25 if you can make a donation, for sure. This organization has been around for a minute. The people are amazing. The students learn more than just football and cheerleading. They learn life skills, character development skills that will take them through a positive, enriching life on the field and off. So I definitely wanted to make sure that you all know about this organization and their fundraiser, which is going to end in a couple of days. They've raised $17,000 already, but the goal is more than $17,000. So on your screen, there is a link by which you can donate to the Bronx Knights youth organization, which is football and cheerleading. So there's a link, and I know the team here is going to put that in the chat, the live chat. Please make a donation if you can. We're going to mention this again, but for right now, I wanted to do that at the top. So the other thing that I wanted to definitely share with you all, I'm going to go to the next pennant, is the Jessye Norman School of the Arts, which is in Atlanta. Y'all know I'm between New York and Georgia on a regular basis. So I have home both places. And last week we talked about the Jessye Norman School of Arts on the east side of Atlanta, but we didn't have the right, and it was my fault, not my team, but it was my fault. We didn't have the right URL. We didn't have the right picture or maybe we did, but it was jumbled. So I promised the organization that I would do this again. I want you all to know that there is a free program, Eastside Atlanta, that is doing amazing work. They're looking for help from the community. I'm asking for you all to dig in. Even if you give to nonprofit organizations and youth organizations, even if you already do, if you have the capacity to add another one to the list, I'm recommending the Jessye Norman School of the Arts in Eastside Atlanta. The let's see, the website is now on your screen. This is the one that I struggled with last week, my fault. The website, for those who are watching and not listening, is thejnsa.org/JNSA /JNSA2ATL. I'm going to say it one more time and then we're going to go on with the show. The website is thejnsa.org/JNSA2, the number 2, ATL. So I think I'm going to do this on a regular basis, because if we say that we're all about supporting Black organizations, I think I'm going to add this as a regular segment, right? So that you can know beyond your own neighborhood where you can support. So I wanted to do that at the beginning. So before we jump in, make sure you tell us where you are, from where you are ascending. That's going to be important because we know y'all are international. So let's definitely do that. And I think we can jump in. Our guests are here. So, family, let us welcome to the stage. Who are we welcoming first? There she is. Marcia Pendleton. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. Good morning, April. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Welcome to the Ascending family. I am giddy. I'm trying not to be like a 5-year-old that we get to talk to you and get to tap into your wisdom and knowledge. I just love the work that you do. Mm-hmm. I love what you stand for. And I wanted us to talk about it. One of the things, as an audience development specialist that you are, and you've been doing work to get Black folks to really appreciate the performing arts, to engage with the performing arts. But your particular lane, a special lane for you, is Black theater, right? Yes. So this is an extension of a conversation we did a couple of months ago with Sangul Jakam when we talked about Black theater, right? Mm-hmm. And you've worked with him, I've worked with him, and I was like, it's not enough. We need more conversation. So give us a little bit of why you feel the need to use your time and energy and your talents and your skills and your bachelor's degree and your master's degree. Like, why do you give a damn about what some people might say is a luxury, going to the theater? Like, why do you care so much, and why is it important? What do you want the audience to understand?
Going to the theater is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is like breathing. Just like we need to breathe, we need to go to the theater in order to hear our stories in the most truest and authentic forms of storytelling. That is so vitally important. The more money that is spent in a particular medium, the less authenticity you find.
Okay, hold up. Time. We need you to say that again. For everybody in the back. That's a bar. Say it again, please.
The more it costs, the more money that's involved with a particular media, the less authentic you become. It gets because the concern is about money, making money. That's why it's so difficult to make films. Okay, that's why it's so difficult to do television, even if it's not like the regular linear television, but even the streaming and even these new platforms that we have in order to do that. But the more money that is spent, the more it costs, the less authentic it gets, because there's a particular message and image that sells, and it's about money. It's not about soul. It's not about soul care.
Okay. So when we do our art as Black folks, as
Mhm,
Black artists, oftentimes, most times, we are coming to, and I'm not talking about entertainment, I'm
mhm,
talking about art. There's a
mhm.
difference, right? But most times, at least a sufficient amount of time, we're trying to tell a story. We're
Yes.
looking to be authentic. We are tying our story to a certain lineage. We are looking to break ground, right? And so we don't want that story watered down, because our voice, our rhythm, everything we do is a certain, we got a certain oomph to it, right? Is that the part, Marcia, that makes the arts and theater in particular necessary, like for our own survival? If you agree, can you elaborate?
I do agree. I absolutely do agree. I think that when it comes to us telling our stories, our own stories, we can't depend on somebody else to do it. I know that if I'm reaching back into my theater history course that I took 9,000 years ago, it wasn't until white playwrights became interested in the lives of Black people, like drama, beyond the singing and dancing and the minstrelsy. It wasn't until white playwrights became interested in doing that, that they began to accept, they meaning producers, they began to take those kinds of stories seriously. And they were inauthentic. They were filled with stereotypes, like the Emperor Jones by Eugene O'Neill. Like it's considered a classic, but uh, I won't talk about I won't talk about that. Uh, but the bottom line is that once we said that we want to do this work, there was a difference in the the kinds of stories that were being told and how they were being told. This has been an ongoing struggle from the time that our feet hit these shores in change to what's going on right now, with people trying to, at the highest levels of government, trying to erase who we are and why we are and when we are and how we tell our stories and what story is being told, you know. Um, so that's why I agree with it. It's so important for us to take charge of take charge of who we are. Does that make
Right.
sense? Does
It
that make
does. And who we are, how we express.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't take charge of it, tell me if I'm following you. If we don't take charge of that, if we don't write and produce and perform, yes, but also write and produce. Thank you so much. I need to interrupt my flow from Micah with that donation. Thank you so much for sure. Um, from your after hours cousins. Okay, sorry, family. I'm sorry. That's me coming out of character, right? Because I paused for the money.
Yeah, we need the money. We need the money
But it's
in
in
order.
alignment, right? Like what Mike is doing, like in supporting independent platforms, right? Supporting independent media, supporting independent artists. To come back to the thought is that if we don't own that which we create, if we don't produce, if we don't tell our stories, then the stories die, right? Even if the stories are produced, if the authenticity is stripped away, if the soul is stripped away, then we don't get to live anymore because somebody else is telling our story, right? So,
Absolutely.
so I'm on the same track with you, right? Yes.
Absolutely. W.E.B. Du Bois, when he talked about Black theater and the definition of Black theater, by us, about us, for us, near us, and I stick with that. I
Yes.
absolutely stick with that. There's something that happens in theater right now that people like to do, and it's called a Black Theater Night. And,
Yes.
and I stick very close to, if it's not written by a Black person, then we're not doing Black Theater Night. We need to call it something else.
Right.
We,
Right.
we need to call it something else because there's somebody else's, that's somebody
That's
else's.
somebody else's story. But let me let you flex for a minute, right?
Mhm.
Because I want to show for the audience, like, granted, Broadway is in New York, right? There's no way around it. Off Broadway is in New York.
Yes,
Community theater is everywhere,
everywhere.
right? And what people don't know, and I learned this from our beloved brother Mo Beasley.
Yes.
And I met him all these years ago, and he was letting me know about the industry of theater, commercial theater, and
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
that plays and productions workshop before they get to Broadway.
Yes.
They workshop before they get to off Broadway. They workshop, meaning they are produced and they live in the community before they get to Broadway. And it's a whole system, it's a whole ecosystem, and all those different kinds of things. So while New York is Broadway and off Broadway, but community theater is everywhere, and we want people to support the arts. So here's my point, Marcia. I wanted to show for the audience, guys. Let's bring up the. Oh, we didn't do bookmark. Sorry, we'll do that at the end. Let's bring up the some of the plays. Let's use the Fela one for last. So, Marcia, for those who haven't yet, MJ the musical is still playing. Yes,
Oh,
it is.
yeah. And it is touring nationally, and
It is touring
also
national.
has an international presence too. Sit down.
Now, the no, this is excellent. The reason why I'm showing these, just a snippet of the shows that you are doing the marketing for, making sure that Black people get to the theater, is because the theater producers, and they vary in their consciousness, I think that's fair to say, they
Yeah.
know who to go to when they're like, we need more Black and brown people in the audience. Because by and large, theater is supported, and the audience members who show up are white people, and they're older white people, and the women have blue hair. Like that's the inside joke. But we appreciate that musicals like this, and I saw this thanks to you.
Mhm.
It was absolutely amazing. Let's do another one. It's so like there. I don't think there's a production on Broadway. Like 9 times out of 10, you're connected. These are some of the older ones. Lackawanna Blues is older now. I wanted the audience to see this in particular because let's put that back up, guys. Because the marketing, and this is who is this? The Manhattan Theater Club?
Manhattan Theater Club. Yes.
Yeah. The marketing is such that you're on the flyer. That's the weight that you carry. So this is a shameless plug for Black women behind the scenes who are doing the damn thing. It might seem like cozy, whatever, and you are a mentor of mine, but I need to big up Black women in media and marketing behind the scenes who are making sure that we get to live where the money is, where the stage is, that we get to tell our stories. So that's why I'm being a little bit extra fluffy with you, because we are not centered in this work that we do, right? As publicists, as media marketing professionals, as audience development, like we're a part of a small sorority
Mhm.
of Black women behind the scenes doing the work, making sure that our work is seen and respected and loved and lifted up by Black folks. It's
That
working for everybody. Yeah.
that is absolutely true. I had forgotten about this flyer when I chose it. I forgot that my picture was on the bottom.
But that's exactly why I wanted people to see it, because
was on the bottom. Was on the bottom of it, and it's very important. I've been doing this work for a long time, and people recognize me. I will not be at Harlem Week today because I have work to do here in the home office, but I have a staff that will be out there. But people will come by the booth. I will post something on social media, and people will come by the booth and ask her, well, where is she? She posted it. Well, where is she? Can we say hello?
You
It,
are a celebrity in your own right, for real, for real. If you are making a plan to get to New York, definitely hit up. We're going to put how people can get in contact and get on your
yes,
list. But
absolutely.
wait, so I'm going to stop gushing in a minute. Sorry, folks. I
Okay,
just
not a
personal privilege.
problem.
The next one is Fela.
Uh,
So I told my producers, like, y'all can't stop me on this one. When Fela, when Fela was on Broadway, it did workshop. I forgot where, at the Public. No.
no, it workshopped at a theater on 39th, no, 37th and 12th. I
Okay.
forget what it was called, but I don't think it's no longer in operation, but it's an off-Broadway space.
So the point here is, for those who are listening and not watching, Fela was a phenomena on Broadway several years ago, maybe about 10 years ago, a little bit more. It
Mhm.
was, when it got to Broadway, it was backed by Jay-Z, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, Questlove as well. Black folks got behind this production of Fela, the originator of
Afro
oh my gosh, I just drew a blank. But
Afrobeat.
Afrobeats, yes.
Yeah.
It was a phenomenon. Broadway had never experienced the level of energy and innovative. Like, it was bombastic in so many different ways. I chose this picture. This is a picture for those who are listening and not watching. Adeshala Osakalumi, if you're a ascending family person who tunes in, I mention my brother all the time. That's the national tour photo.
Yes.
He was uh, he shared the role. Adeshala Osakalumi shared the role with two other great actors who played Fela. And so when it went on tour after the Broadway run, or after, um, Adeshala was the star for the national tour. But I bring this up because the one of the key ways that people found out about this phenomenon on Broadway that broke a lot of records was because of you, Marcia Pendleton, and you allowed me to be a part of your marketing team, and it was a phenomenal experience. And we got to do things like this. Bring up the next one, and then we'll stop gushing for a minute. So the audience here knows about Be a Father, right? This is the book that I edited in 2008. The audience knows about the groundbreaking episode where people got vulnerable. The guys from the book got
Mhm.
vulnerable and told all their business, and had people across the country crying and calling me in tears because of this conversation around Black fatherhood. It was because of the work that you pushed for, that we could tell our stories, that we got to work with you to do a special night to uplift the themes of fatherhood connected to the Broadway production of Fela. So I say that because when Black women get in certain spaces, everybody eats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take that
Everybody.
down, guys, and Marcy, I want you to go in on that. The way that you have, and your work has opened the doors for more than just artists.
One of the things that someone told me years ago, and I did not know this about myself at the time. Somebody had to tell me that I was a very creative person, and that I bring that creativity to anything that I do. And another person told me that I see projects, when I see projects, I see the whole project initially. I don't know how that happens. I wasn't even aware that that was part of my process, but I see the whole thing, and then I need to break it down. I believe in meeting people where they are. I believe in making those connections, like you said, so everybody else can eat. I had completely forgotten about that Fela connection that we did with Be a Father,
Yes.
at those special nights, but creating opportunities for people to, we call them points of entry, for people to come into the theater. It's not just, okay, the marketing thing is, like, here is a ticket, here's how much it costs, come. Not everybody grows up with that kind of experience. You may need to make and create an event that brings the community in a way that they can connect to the work, that the work can open up to them in another way. So that's why the affinity nights are important. That's why the Black Theater nights are important, which started off just by being a celebration of the Black theater community, those of us who make Black theater possible. It started off just to be a celebration and us saying, yeah, y'all better work that stuff. It started off like that, and then it grew into something else. But it is so important. One of my favorite Black theater nights was with Zsa's African hair braiding.
Yeah.
So the theater was packed, and the executive director of NTC said to me, is it because of the play, or is it because Taraji P. Henson is on the stage and LaShawns is on the stage? And I said, it's all of those things.
Yeah.
It's all of those things. So if it took Taraji P. Henson being a producing partner on the show to come see the show, and people come see the show and witness their own experiences in a braiding salon,
Yeah.
and it highlighted immigrant experiences, then why not? Then why not?
Let me ask you this, because what I'm hearing in my head is the other voice. The people who say it's just Broadway, it's just acting, it's no Black theater, it's just theater. And why you and I both know that's an age-old question. There are people who want, but before the Trump administration wants to strip away race, right? And to say, this is not a Black play. This is a play. This is whatever with just Black people in it. And I'd like to get your feedback to that age-old standard point of view.
Well, we're not going to do that. It is not about denying who we are. I will never forget, it was in April of this year or in May of this year when I began to get emails from the organizations that I've worked with, that I've had relationships with, that I support, and they said that they had lost their funding from the NEA because it no longer connected with what the Trump administration wanted to happen. So they withdrew all of this money from every Black organization here in New York City, and I know that it happened across the country.
Here too.
Yeah, so it is, and people are raising money. I know this one organization, the government took $65,000 from them. The community came through and doubled it with $120,000.
That's amazing.
These are the things that we have to do. The other piece of it is that August Wilson said, and I know Sangu said this as well. August Wilson said, you get to the universal through the specific. So it is through our specific experiences that we connect with our common humanity, and it's from the time, like I said, that we were brought to these shores, our humanity was stripped from us. So when you have a specific story, and somebody says, who may not be Black, or brown, who says, I know that experience because I have a family. I know that experience because I have had that experience. That's the way in, and that's the way through for us. So we can't say, no, this is not Black theater. And there are culturally Black theater organizations that have been around for over 50 years. Here in New York, you have Woody King Jr.'s New Federal Theater. You have Black Spectrum Theater in Queens. You also have the National Black Theater, all born out of the Black arts movement, and that are here and still creating opportunities for our stories to be told authentically. Now, that doesn't mean that other theater companies have not opened up their doors and continue to support the work, like maybe the Public Theater and also New York Theater Workshop. They've had some amazing things happening, and right now they do as well. They're getting ready for those things to happen. Patricia McGregor at New York Theater Workshop brings a variety of stories to that stage. So when we have theater makers like that who are Black, that bring our stories to the stage, there's no such thing, like in my world, as not calling that Black theater.
Absolutely. And that can extend to the arts as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. If for those who say, well, race doesn't matter, let's be race neutral. So if race doesn't matter, then why do you have a problem with us calling it Black arts or Black theater if race doesn't matter, right? So
Yeah,
if the case, logic would extend to be like, since it doesn't matter, then I can be race specific. Anyway,
so if it doesn't matter, like, then leave us alone.
it don't make it matter, right?
When you were talking about King Hedley II a couple of months ago,
Oh yes,
that quote, "God's a bad motherfucker,"
yes,
that was by stated by the character was Stool Pigeon,
yes,
and it was played by Stephen McKinley Henderson.
yes. I remember that after the fact. Thank you so much for bringing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have to bring that context to the table about who we are. We understand what
Yes.
Wilson was saying, the guy's a bad motherfucker.
And there's a certain cultural context where you know that it's not a curse word.
It's not a curse word.
It's a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to have a certain cultural understanding to know the nuance that is the epitome of a compliment.
Oh, absolutely.
As that might sound to those who don't know the culture.
There is a show in its last weeks on Broadway. It's called Purpose, written by Brandon Jacob Jenkins, and it won the Tony Award and it won the Pulitzer Prize. It's playing at the Hayes Theater until August 31st. One of the best things that I've seen in theater in a long time, and it tells our story. It's about a Black family. One of the things that there was a scene where the oldest son decides that he is going to end it all. So he goes downstairs to the basement of the house, and you hear a gunshot, and people are like, "Ah!" But the next line is, they come up out of the basement, and the person said, "He missed."
Oh my God.
He missed. All the Black people in the audience fell out laughing. We fell out because that's us. He missed. Or with Pearly Victorious, and at the ending scene, they were setting up a church, and they had white chairs. Now, y'all all remember the chairs. The actor came out swinging the chair in such a way that we all fell out laughing. It was hilarious. That Kenny Leon would do stuff like that, a director. So it's just to have those kinds of moments in the theater with other people who are like you, but being able to share that with somebody who may not be like you. It gives them permission to explore and embrace and understand like I said, and celebrate our common humanity, but we don't give up who we are.
Right, right. I want to close out, which is so hard to do, but I didn't give you a prep on this, but I would like you to share, if you can pull up from your arsenal, if you will, a story where you were victorious. This is not the ascending moment question. This is something else, because I can't remember in this moment some stories where you have been victorious against commercial theater, like people who are trying to tell you, no, we got to do it this way, but you know Black folks better than the commercial theater producers who are detached from our community. Let me set you up even further. When there was I don't even want to say his name, so don't say his name, but there was a major play on Broadway, Raisin in the Sun, and don't say his name, I don't want to give credit, but directed by Kenny Leon, right? This several years ago, and this superstar hip hop celebrity was playing the role of Walter Lee. Is that the yeah?
Younger,
And
yeah.
everybody was like, "What the hell? Like, he's not even an actor. He's no good." But we knew, and the world knew, that commercial theater, those producers did that to bring in Black folks to see this production, and it worked. And it worked. But we know that in the commercial arena, things like this are done to as bait to get us in the theater, right? To watch. And it kind of eats away at the authenticity because it's like gimmicky, right?
Yeah, stunt casting. They call it stunt casting.
Oh wow, okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. Stud casting.
Stunt.
Oh, it could be stud too. but the redeeming part of that is that Black people do go to the theater, right? And maybe it will get them to become associated with it, as opposed to that one big your chance to see this big hip hop celebrity in non-acting self play a classic role. So maybe it plants a little bit of a seed. So have you had experiences where you have stood in the face of the commercial theater producer and it's like, no, you have got to listen to me because I know my people, that ain't gonna work. That marketing move or whatever that came is not gonna work, but try this. And you have been successful. I know you got. I just want to hear one.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. There've been so many, and it's not just the commercial theater world.
Okay, fair enough.
What immediately came to mind was a play that I had been working on, and the Tony Award-winning actress was in the show, and she suggested to this theater company that they hire me to bring in Black audiences, and they were very resistant. And initially, so she wore them down, and they finally gave in. And they only gave me a month. And one particular event, the actress called me and she said, "Girl, if this event doesn't work, it's a cultivation event to bring in an audience. If this event doesn't work, they're talking about cutting you loose." And I was just like, "What? A month? That's because people will give. Okay, we want Black people in, but we'll give you as little resources as possible to do this." Well, we did this cultivation event that was held at 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning in the dead of winter. Let me tell you something. That theater seated 200 people. Every single seat was filled. Every single seat had somebody sitting in it. The event was an overwhelming success. People were able to go to the box office immediately following the event. There was also a performance that day those people from that who attended that event at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it was cold, 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 cold outside. They went to the box office, they brought their tickets, and they sold out that particular performance.
Wow.
So they had proof. They had proof. That's why Stool Pigeon said what he said.
I love Black women doing the damn thing. Like, we got powers and potence and things with our words and our ideas that keep the community alive. We're not the only ones, but right now I'm talking about Black women in particular. And this is why I wanted to do part 2 of Black women in media and marketing, because we're magical.
One of the things, and just one other quick story about that. This was a while ago. Crowns, when Crowns became, they were doing Crowns here in New York. Regina Taylor famously created a play out of this coffee table book that celebrated Black women, particularly from the Church of God in Christ, and their crowns, their hats.
Yes, yes, yes.
And we did a cultivation event. And what I said was, we need to do, in addition to doing, hearing from Regina and the director and doing a scene from the show, we should also do a fashion show. And the person said to me, why would we need to do that? Because they did not understand the connection between what we are taught growing up, bringing our best to the Lord, bringing our best to church. And you know that the center aisle in the church could be a runway, like a fashion runway.
Absolutely.
So that's what was important. And they saw that and they were like, oh my God.
Because they
don't know. They don't know.
So yeah, they don't. Because we got to switch for a minute. I want to thank you for helping people to know, right? In our own community as well, right? Our own community as well. That's important. But let's put back on the screen, guys, that Marcia can be heard every Thursday at 9 p.m. on WBAI.org, wherever you are in the world. There's a radio program that you do called Backstage Stories, where these stories that, you bring in the actors and the behind the scenes people from theater, not just Broadway, but this is a show that you've been doing for a couple of years now. If you're in the New York metro area.
Almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years, yeah. So WBAI 99.5 FN, if you know, I know this audience knows the Pacifica Network, right? I know this audience here knows WBAI in New York and WPFW in DC and the other 4 or 5 stations I can't remember, but throughout the country, this is the progressive place to get your radio content, but it's also online, WBAI.org. People can hear you talking to other magical people telling their story, and it's called Backstage Stories, right? Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Right.
And there's also an archive. So if you miss something, you'll be able to pick it up at the archive. Before you get to the ascendant question, I just wanted to share with people wherever they are. Broadway is one thing. Really and truly, Broadway is a contract. It's about the number of seats in the theater, and it's a contract. And that's the difference between Broadway and Off-Broadway.
Okay.
But the other piece of it is wherever you are, there is regional theater. There is also Black regional theater. If you have a Black theater company in your community, support it. And there are also community spaces, like even when your church does something, support it, because our stories need to be told. And you never know how a story is going to connect with someone in the audience, or it may find its way to the what we call the zenith of the theater world here in New York. It all has to start somewhere, but we all need your support. But they need your support in order to do that. So
Absolutely.
support your local theater companies as well as wherever you are, getting on the bus, getting on the subway, and coming to see something in Midtown New York.
Absolutely. And for those who are playwrights, or want to be playwrights, or don't think you can be a playwright, like please don't sell yourself short.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Study the craft, study the writers, the ones who've come before you. If there's a free workshop at the library, like do the things so that your talent can blossom. Mo Beasley and I talk about this all the time. Just because you have an emotion and a pen and a paper doesn't make you a poet, right? Just
Right.
because you have an emotion and you got your heart broken, it doesn't make you the greatest playwright ever. You know what I mean? Or whatever. So take the emotions and mold it and marry it with discipline and focus, and definitely hone the craft, because we need your stories, right?
Yes,
We need
absolutely.
your stories. So I wanted to say that. Let's do your ascending moments, that breakthrough moment, and then we're going to go to the next segment. But wait, you have a forever code at one of these institutions. Don't you have a,
At
you
the
know,
public theater.
at the public theater? Do that real quick, and then you could go straight to ascending moments.
Okay, at the public theater, if you use the code Marcia 26, that's MARCIA, and then 26, you can get, I think it's $40 or $45 tickets, all fees included. And it unlocks the performances where the seats are available. You can see anything at the public theater for less than 45 bucks, like, which is a really great price when you consider that the average ticket price is like $93.
Yeah, we need people to understand that this kind of work, $45, all fees included. This is just at the public theater because of
Yeah,
the relationship that Marcia Pendleton has with the public theater. Um, the average price is 90 something dollars, but ticket prices for a Broadway or off Broadway show can go into the hundreds.
yeah, hundreds of dollars, So, but what I want people to know is that if you see a promotional code, and they're usually available during what we call the preview periods, use that code immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Don't wait until the show is in its final week expecting to get a discount, because
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. If people want to join my mailing list,
Mm-hmm.
discount codes all the time.
Like
So
every day.
I get discount codes all the time. Go to walktallgirlproductions.com and sign up for our email list, and you will get that information. Uh,
Right. Can I share this part real quick?
mhm.
Just did a promo that you brought us in on here at Aquila Work Songs. Lupita
In Youngblood.
uh, is doing, started August 7th, right?
Yeah,
Lupita,
for Shakespeare in the Park. Thank you, Black
yeah,
Man Investing.
yes, that code, right. But wait, so the code, so that was a big thing, right? Shakespeare in the Park
Mhm.
um, is a big thing every year. The new theater just opened, and then here comes Lupita, like,
And her brother.
and her twin brother Junior, right? The media and marketing campaign has been everywhere. She's been on all the talk shows and whatever, right? And so you put out the code, we put out the code, and you had someone else put out your code to this big announcement. And within like 2 days,
2 days. Done.
there were no more seats. Now here's the part. Shakespeare in the Park is free,
Yeah,
right? So people might be like, well, why do I need a code? It's free. Because if you don't use the code that Marcia gives you, you can be in line like everybody else, the hundreds of other people. You got to stand in line.
yeah. People were like, oh my goodness, I can skip the line. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, they called me and they said, the good news is that the code has really done well. The bad news is that we don't have any more available.
We had to stop. We had to stop the marketing campaign.
We had to
Somebody just somebody just emailed me yesterday, like the code don't work. Well, yeah, because you waited a week.
you waited too long, so use that immediately.
Yeah. So we're just giving people insights about like those who can get to New York, who are in New York. There's levels to this in terms of how to get your way into having some Black joy in your life. And you can go ahead and tell them some Black woman told you what to do, like, you know, and where to go. Like, you know, Marcia said so. And her mentee, April, said so. So have some Black joy.
Absolutely. So my ascending moment, there have been several, but I want to speak to one in particular, and it was given to me by a friend of mine who just passed away. His name was Michael Dinwiddie. He was an associate. He was a professor at the Gallatin School. Dramatic writing, Black theater scholar. He was a playwright. He was one of my very best friends in the whole entire world, and I miss him. Several years ago, I was dealing with a producer, and it happened to be a Black producer, at the time. And I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated by some of the things that this person said to me. And I was like, I'm not taking this from you. I'm not taking this from anybody else. I'm done. I'm done with this business. And I happened to pick up the phone, and not happy, but I picked up the phone and I called Michael, and I was, like I said, I was devastated. What he said to me was, you just had an article in Ebony magazine that featured your work. Come to my office. We'll run off copies. Now, this is before, the social media.
Right.
We'll run off copies of that, and you'll write a note, make your list of people that you want to let them know what it is that you're doing, and include that article, and we'll mail it out. And NYU paid for the mailing. Y'all not supposed to know that, but NYU paid for the mailing. And he said, don't let anybody run you out of what you want to do or your passion. Because that's when I realized I really and truly had a passion for the work.
Right.
That I did not wish to leave it, that I did make a difference. And that article in Ebony magazine, no matter what that person said, people all over the country saw the work that I was doing.
Right.
And again, what stool pigeons said. What stool pigeons said.
For those who are coming in late, Stool Pigeon said, what was the play? Which play was it? King Henry? By Austin Wilson, God is a motherfucker. And if you know for real Black culture and vernacular, you know that's a compliment.
What Stool Pigeons say,
Yeah.
That was my ascending moment, and it has kept me going for all of these many years.
Yeah.
So that's when I just said, like, okay,
yeah,
my message, and people responded to that letter.
Yeah, of course.
And the work continued.
And the work continues. I appreciate you. I think I made a mistake on you because I want people to connect with you in these powerful stories. Your website is Walk Tall Girl Productions. Okay, so if everybody will hold on 1 second, guys, I got this. Walk Tall Girl Productions is what we're gonna put on the screen. Mm-hmm. Walk Tall Girl Productions, plural. Mm-hmm. So this is the corrected one, folks, that you're about to see on your screen in 2 seconds, because we want people to get on your email list. We want people to know when they want to experience Black joy, they can come to New York and not have to spend an arm and a leg. They should go to you first.
Yeah, come to me first, find out, because people will receive my e-newsletter, and if they don't see a discount code in it, they will send me an email and say, excuse me, are you getting a code for this? And either I tell them, yes, I'm working on it, or no, we don't have that one in particular at this point in time.
Yeah. And people will ask. And there's, like I said, there's a sorority of us in this field. You amongst, at the top of the tier. People have been doing this for a minute. So I thank you because I eat because you share. Share. So I want to shout out all of the people, all the PR firms that give a damn and are doing this. Not just you, but there's so many others. But right now we're focusing on you. And your website is Walk Tall Girl Productions with an S, walktallgirlproductions.com for those who are listening and not watching. So I say this every week. My grandma May used to say, I don't do goodbyes. I will so long, but we thank you so much, Marcia Pendleton. I know we didn't cover everything, but we tried to get a little bit. So we thank you so much.
I'm just hoping that I was coherent.
You were. You were that and beautiful. And real. So no, we appreciate you. We thank you for reminding us to support Black joy, Black arts, and particularly Black theater. So we'll see you next time.
Okay, see you next time.
Okay, thank you so much. Family, wow, that was amazing. We have another segment, right? Because you all know that I've been thinking about and working on this whole anti-intellectualism that's happening and how social media is, like taking us backwards in a lot of different ways. I've talked about that. You all have encouraged me to make sure that topic gets here on Ascending. And so I was having a conversation with a dear friend who's a mentee as well, and someone who's been in the social media game for quite some time. And we were having a conversation about like how backwards it is getting and the lack of fact checking, and people don't cite their sources, and quite frankly, language alert, some of the dumb shit that emerges on social media, especially now, not only now. So I want to bring to the stage in just 1 second this person who I'm talking about. Her name is Star Rock. Like I said, I've known her for a minute, but her work is more important, right? As a journalist, as a writer, she's written everywhere. But here's the thing that made me be like, okay, I got to have you on the show now. We were having this conversation that I just referenced, and she was like, yeah, that was social media and the brain rot. She called it brain rot. And I was like, oh my God, I can't think of a singular word that is more fitting for what is happening in some corners of social media. So I want to have this conversation, and then we're going to go to the comments in quite a second. But are we ready to bring Star Rock on to Ascending? There you are. Hey.
Hey.
You look lovely and bright.
Thank you.
Yellow. Oh my goodness. How wonderful it is to see you.
Yes. It's great to be on here. And I love that you have Marcia Pendleton, because theater is my first love. Like before media,
right.
We always knew, for me, I was either going to be a journalist or in theater in some way. And just hearing her talk about like Black theater in particular, because I went to performing arts schools and all that, and like when you go to like conservatories, it's very Eurocentric.
Yes.
But I've always had like Black people like Marcia in the community giving us like the real deal, like the history of the blues, right, being the foundation of pop music, or like the Renaissance, all that. Not to go too deep.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We go everywhere.
Yeah. And one of my biggest regrets is I was invited to audition for Fela when it was just a workshop. One of my dance friends
told me that. Yes.
And I was like, I can't do it. Like, I'm looking at her like she's the greatest dancer I've ever seen. Like, what do you mean you want me to come in? And I didn't do it, and I regret it to this day.
Yeah. I forgot that you told me that, and I forgot that theater is your first love, because I know your energy that tracks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like your energy, you are bubbly, you're exciting, you're dramatic, and I mean that in a positive way.
No,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And so that aligns like perfectly. But I forgot about the dance piece.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say? I'm sorry, I just got to flex again just because I can. But did I say that I saw Fela 28 times?
No,
Did I?
I don't think. I mean,
It's,
I don't know if I was on. I don't think you said it though.
I say it all the time.
I get
So
it.
it's weird that I didn't say it when we referenced Fela, the Broadway musical. That everybody, it's not playing now. It's from
Right.
before. Just
But
letting people
high
know.
key, I feel like Fela is kind of the turning point for Broadway. Like, I think people who pay attention notice that some of the stories have shifted a little bit. So like now, you know, like the Wiz came back. I think Candy and her husband produced was it Piano Man? And then we have Hell's Kitchen. Like the types of
Yes.
storytelling we're seeing on Broadway, I feel like Fela kind of opened the floodgates for that, because we didn't used to see a lot of these different types of plays through a Black cultural lens on Broadway as much as we're seeing now.
As much as we're seeing now, because it was so groundbreaking in so many different ways, and it wasn't Black celebrity in terms of an African American, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I so gotta have Adeshala on because their stories.
I believe it.
Stories. There are stories, but I saw the play 28 times because
Wow.
my client, Adeshala Osakalumi, who was one of 3 Felas, he was not an understudy. Got to make that clear. He was one of 3 Felas that rotated in that primary role. He was my client, you know, at the time. So I was always there. You know what I mean? And I busted my ass to make sure that Black media was there.
I remember that.
Busted my ass to make sure, from be it hyper local like the Amsterdam News to just above and beyond, relationships were built because we busted he too together as a team. We did all that we could to make sure that Black people got to see that amazing production.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience just saw the pristine part of it. You know, there's other layers, but still, you know, it was worth the experience. So, and I have all 28 playbills to prove it. I collect playbills.
Me too.
Okay. So let's jump right in. Enough kikiing, right? We could go on. But let's bring to the audience, just for a little bit, right? Just for a little bit, this conversation and what you have seen as someone who has been a powerhouse user in social media from the early 2000s, which is, you know, what you talked about, what you shared with me. And of course, I was there before you were famous. With the journaling, the blogging, you have a novel out, all those different kinds of things. And you were steady on the case with regard to pop culture and social media, that intersection. That was the early 2000s. And here we are in 2025, and we have AI that has entered into the conversation. We have people who believe that the earth is flat. Right. And so
and that's not up for debate. That's kind of changed the, like, I'll let you talk because
no, go because what the hell?
We've given too much credence to things that are not up for debate, right? Like the earth is flat, or like there's this whole this new movement of people that are like, Black people in America did not descend from Africa. And so how do you explain the slave ship, the sunken slave ships that have been found? And like, you know what I mean? There's stuff that is just not up for debate. Now, were Africans travelers? Yes, there's evidence of that too. But to try to change the narrative to say Black people with roots in the South, all of a sudden now we're indigenous to America, like that. Oh my God!
But for someone who you're not just a pop culture commentator or theater enthusiast, but you're an intelligent Black woman. Right. And you by default just have lived this culture and studied it and whatever. And you have some inside stories that we don't have enough time. But where do you think that comes from? Is it what am I trying to say? Are people just looking for conversation, or they just want attention? That's what I'm trying. Are people just looking for attention? They just say anything and they're like, fight me.
It's a combination of a lot of things. So I'll say this: like when I was in college, I was a communications major, and I know sometimes people have jokes about like, oh, it's a useless degree. It's not. It's like I remember we had to take classes that at the time I was like, why are we taking this class? But now I'm realizing it was to help us think, right? Become better critical thinkers and to be more well-rounded journalists. And I'll give you an example. I took a social psychology class. I was forced to take a couple. And I remember I was like, no, why I gotta take psychology? Like, this is journalism. But it's interesting because at that time, we talked about different social phenomena. Like there's a phenomena called, and forgive me, I'm not a psychologist, so any of my people in that world, if I use the wrong thing, you can correct me. But there's a phenomenon called sense of false uniqueness, right? And what that means is people who think they're special. That's the gist of it. Like you think you're the only one that does something. So like, somebody might come on and like, am I the only one that rinses pots before I use them? Like, and everyone is like, no, you're not the only one. But I think that's one of the things that's kind of been amplified. Another thing is I'm highly interested in where social psychology is now with the advent of social media and how we're looking at how people use social media. There are some studies out there. I've seen a couple here and there about the ways in which people use social media. So like the tribalism, right? Everything's become, it's either this or that. So I believe the earth is flat. I found other people who believe the earth is flat. So the earth has to be flat. That's the logic in that. It's
damn science.
Damn science, damn experts. You're not an expert. This person that has 1 million followers on social media is an expert now. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if this is a scientist who has been to space, who has seen the earth from a rocket ship.
Right.
There's all these, like, I wish I had better terminology for it. I know some people who in psychology, yes, somebody in the comments said they almost threw their phone when people were saying Harriet Tubman didn't exist. Like that's a whole. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not. But wait, don't send me flying out of here. Not yet.
That was a whole thing online.
But Jesus God, no, I did not know that. It was my day, Star. But wait. But it's just like there's a parallel from what we said earlier, right? And we're going to come to the comments, right? We have a section where we're going to come to the comments because I see the comments are on fire. I can tell. But it's similar to what we said a moment ago, right? Where Mo Beasley is the first one where we've had this conversation. Just because you have an emotion and you can put words together doesn't make you a poet. Sorry, right? And to even take it away from the arts. Just because you can put words together, right, doesn't mean that that combination of words makes it a sentence. But then there are other people be like, no, those are words, and I put the words together, and I cannot use and it's a sentence because I said so. Right. And also, how you gonna tell me I'm not a poet? See, why you policing my art?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I know that that's a thing, and people are like, oh, you're being elitist. Because poetry is what I say it is. The novel is what I say it is. I can blow this horn and I know it's noise. You know what I mean? People, to your point is what I'm saying. I'm supplementing your point. And maybe there's some value. Tell me if you agree. There's some value in an innovative approach to your expression. A unique approach. Your individuality matters. I don't think that we're saying that your individuality and your breaking norms doesn't matter, right? We are the ones who are breaking down the status quo. So let me ask you, in your opinion, even with that being true, where we respect your individuality, how do you line that up with that there's also room simultaneously for structure and precedent and tradition and the ability to make what it is that you're creating accessible? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's interesting because like I will say, as much as we can talk bad about social media, one of the positives is the diversity in thought. Well, for better or for worse, right? But like and even as someone who's worked for traditional media, I think there's value in democratizing how people can present ideas,
right?
Because media has been heavily gatekept, but there's also value in being able to rein certain things in and certain folks in, right? Like there's a lot of, and I don't mean to sound elitist when I say this, but it just is what it is. And this is what I've seen on social media. A lot of people are very ignorant and not smart. And unfortunately, because of that, sometimes there is no self-awareness. So you have these people who get on and say these things.
You're trying to say people don't know they're stupid?
It's called Dunning-Kruger. And look at a lot of the politicians in charge, right? Like you can tell these language alert, these motherfuckers in Congress, in the Senate, they passed bills that they probably didn't even read. Like what kind of dumb shit? And I feel like there is a trickle down to that, right? People are stupid, and I'm not saying you got to get up on a high horse like I'm learned, I've read books, but I'm
smart. I can do things like that's the line from The Godfather.
Right. I can do things. But there is some value in, we got to be able to, one, I think shame should come back, at least in some regards, right? Like we should roast people who say stupid shit, like without a basis. Like if you get up there and say something dumb and you don't even know what you're talking about, you should get roasted, like honestly. But well, to answer that question, there is value in having a diversity of thought, but it's like how we do these things. Like a lot of people, I think there's the attention factor. Like people will say something inflammatory just because they know that it'll get them traffic and views. And we have to learn how to, one, disengage. When there are things that are very obviously like clickbait, like these dating conversations that pop up, someone is or like I know for a while there was this whole thing about if you go out, if you have a birthday dinner with a bunch of friends, who pays for the bill? And like it used to get people going. Like I mean, people used to.
I remember, yeah.
And I'm like, at this point, we know if we see somebody post that, okay, you just want attention. Let's.
Right.
But I think the key is identifying people who are genuinely, they just don't know better, and finding these people and who are willing to have discussions and really be like, look, what you're saying is inaccurate and here's why. And you can present to them, these are the studies that have been done over the years. These are not biased studies, because that's another thing. We're in a very scary time where it's almost like you can look up anything you want and we'll probably find something to confirm what you're saying, because there's so much bias and so many people using their titles and things to sway a whole group of people in one direction or the other. Everyone that's a doctor may not necessarily have your best interests at heart. There's doctors who have told people to drink ivermectin when COVID was really big. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things. The attention factor is an issue. You got to think about the people that'll just say anything because they know it will spark people to be like, oh, someone agrees with my stupid opinion, right?
right. And they don't even look at it that way. But I'm glad you brought up the attention thing, and we got to have you back because we're not going to have enough time. Yes. But people, I think sometimes, real talk, and I don't mean this in a facetious way. Mm-hmm. I think oftentimes what we're experiencing with people who just post a lot of whatever, I think there could possibly be some mental health issues that are playing out using the tool of social media, the obsessive posting, the doom scrolling, and people who are traveling and not commenting or whatever. But I think that this has become a space where some mental health challenges or issues or whatever that are just being poured into the pool, and we're supposed to swim through all of this and figure out, whatever, and we got to be careful about what we consume.
We have to dial it back, and this is everybody, kids especially. As a parent, I've been seeing a lot of concerning things about social media, like just things that parents are letting their kids see, and I'm like, you let your kid be on that? Like, and not to judge, but I'm just like, listen, as someone in the media, I could tell it's wicked. There's even social media professionals that will tell you, people who've started certain platforms that will say they will not have their kids on social media because they
But
know what it is.
what is that show called? Oh man. There's the social media experiment or something. I think it was on Netflix. But to your point, I'm drawing a blank. Forgive me. To your point, some people that created like the notifications bell, the whistle, the red dot, or whatever, they're like, "Oh my God, we did not mean it to make people obsessed."
It's a dopamine boost.
That's what they talked about. That's what they talked about. Okay, of course I got to go back on the watch page and put it in there because I'm drawing a blank. But let's we put up here, the guys put up here, I'm shifting really quickly, not just a journalist you are, but you are also a novelist. And so we want to tell people about your book, Bloggers Can't Be Trusted. But the final thing, I just want to tag you as using the term brain rot. So just go into one more time why you see the state of affairs as brain rot on social media, because I was like, did you make that up? Is that organic to you? Like, you just out of your mouth organically, and then we'll close out because we got to do. You can stay on for Bookmark and for in memoriam. So yeah, let me close you out.
Yes. Brain rot, because it's the addiction to it and the inability to really understand what your strong suits are. So you just get up there and say any old dumb thing you can without thinking about it. It's brain rot. The other thing too is it just seems like, because the algorithms, and this has been proven too, the algorithms push negativity. That's why it's harder to find the experts. Like we really are battling. I remember social media before the algorithm, and it's different. And the more negative things are, the more angry, the more rage producing something is, the more attention it gets. And that's unfortunate, but that does contribute to the brain rot. And then the inability to critically think. Like if I write, I like Skittles, you're going to have people in the comments, well, what does Starburst do to you? Why are you talking bad about Starburst? And it's like, I just said I like Skittles, but that ability to critically think, it's all connected. That's all part of the brain rot. Like it's really affecting how we think.
I would agree. I'm already telling you now, and the producers can get mad, but so what? But I want to bring you back because I want to bring some of the data to this as well, right? I know people who are like, AI is not that bad. Like we should get used to it, right? There's a strong argument for it. I know a lot of people in my circle, the progressive circle that I travel in, they're like, yo, relax. AI is okay. And then there are other people like, yeah, but what about your brain? Like if every time we want to turn something in and we give it to Chat GPT, then like, do we not use our brain? So I want to get your take on that too. And I want us to bring some more science and data to it. So, Star, I love you. This has been such a short time.
Yes. I'm down to come back. Anything for you.
I know. I don't know if people like we go back. We go way back. So,
yes. You're one of the first people that gave me a chance in media. That's a whole other story. But
yes. No, but your intelligence beyond the longevity, your intelligence, your insights, and the fact that you haven't abandoned me, not abandoned the field.
I have tried.
I know.
Keep getting shifted back. That's another story too.
Yeah, no, we'll bring you back because I've learned from you. So I thank you. So you can stay here if you want, but I want us to do family. I forgot to do Bookmark. Oh my God, because that's a part of what we do. So where's my let's do Bookmark. So we all know here on Ascending that tomorrow is Marcus Garvey's birthday, right? We talked about this last week when we had Nkechi on. That was an amazing show. Everybody was like, yo, her energy was on some other level. And so I'm going to tell on myself because I wanted to, of course, talk about we don't get here without Marcus Garvey, right? Like, I mean, in large part. But I knew that the women and the people and the women, his wife behind him, or alongside him, better said, was important, but I couldn't move fast enough to get what I wanted up to share around Amy Garvey. So, and he had two wives. That first name was Amy. And I'm not the Pan-Africanist scholar that I would love to be. And I haven't read this book. But from everything that I could tell, because I wanted to balance out and bring to attention some unsung heroes in the Pan-Africanist movement, the people in the comments will let me know if they've read this book, whether or not it's strong and solid. But for those who are listening and not watching, the name of the book for this week's bookmark is The Veiled Garvey, The Life and Times of Amy Jacques Garvey by Ula Yvette Taylor. Came out in 2002. So full disclosure, I typically put up books that I've read. I haven't read this one, but this is my attempt to bring some light to some unsung heroes for the Garvey movement, the Pan-Africanist movement that just changed our lives from the inside out. So I wanted to give that shout out for sure for the bookmark. We have our bookmark reminder that we always are encouraging you to support Black-owned bookstores. There's right under 100 Black bookstores across the country, brick and mortar buildings or online sites. Brick and mortar buildings like Uncle Bobby's in Philadelphia, been around since 2017. Every book that we have in Bookmark and others, you can get it from Uncle Bobby's. If you are listening and not watching, it's my favorite picture of Mark with him smiling right next to inside his bookstore. So definitely let's do that as this week's bookmark. We got to get to the comments. So Star, stay for the comments. Yeah, because the comments are on fire. So I'm jumping around. My dear producers, don't kill me. I'm jumping around. So let's do here for the comments. I'm going to look for the super chat. So we wanted to thank Micah again for that amazing donation. Do people know that Mark doesn't show up on Ascending? I don't know. Like this is Mark's channel on YouTube and on Twitter, and he has a show called Ascending that he has nothing to do with except that it's on his channel. So I'm the host, because every time in the comments people are like, yo, where's Mark? I'm like, he's not here.
You don't read.
He's not here. He did an episode. Go back to the Ascending playlist. Look at the episode playlist. But he's not here. So he doesn't host this show. He owns the channel, but he doesn't host. So I just needed to say that for those who always like, yo, where's Mark? I came here for Mark. Sucks to be you because he ain't here. Okay. Let me see. Let me go through the super chats first. Let's see. Oh man, we have some questions from our audience. We're gonna go by that. Let's see. We have Rolando's here. Rolando's always here. So thank you for always being with us. Let me see if we have any questions for you. Let's shout out Charles Webb. I'm so thankful for all of this type of content. It continues to open me up and expose me to sources for my growth and development. Yo, that's a common theme here for Ascending. People are like, yo, I didn't know. I had some people here that I thought were blackity black, and they are blackity black people. They know about the culture, but they were like, yo, I didn't know Sonia Sanchez.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
No, and I know that sounds judgmental. You know, I don't mean it in a judgmental way. I mean it from the standpoint that we are so rich in our culture. Everybody can't know everybody.
But we're losing history too. Like I feel like, and this goes back to the social media conversation. It's almost like there's generations of people. To me, I can't fathom not knowing who Sonia Sanchez is. And I know not everyone's experience is mine, but again, growing up in Black theater and like with activists and artists around me, like there was no way I wouldn't know who that is. But there's generations of kids now who their whole lives are on social media. And because the information on social media a lot of it is disingenuous, we're losing that.
Yeah, but I also think that I could tell you, let me do the comments real quick. Let me do those real quick, producers, because I know we're bumping into each other, but I want to highlight this one. But before I read it, I could tell you though, and like in a non-judgmental way, there are things that I know people look at me be like, yo, how do you not know that? You understand what I'm saying? I'm sure there's some people, some scholars, independent scholars, academic scholars, because I forget things. Like if it's not written in front of me, I'll forget a date. I'll mess up the name. You know what I mean? So all of that is real. And we have a scenario, and I'm not discounting your point, right? But I'm also saying that the information, I know this sounds corny and it's very old, but the information highway is so crowded, I think it's easy to miss a lesson.
That's
You know what I mean? It's easy to miss a name. I know I do all the time. I got cheat notes all the time, but it makes our work that much more important, I would say. You know, I know you would agree with me there. I'm going to shout out Leah Jackson, and she was talking about Marcia. Marcia is vital to connecting the community with theater. Her relationship with my father and his bringing groups to theater for years is where many people saw their first Broadway play. Well, thank you, Leah Jackson, for that praise report. That's dope. That's dope. I'll make Marcia is probably still watching. Oh man, I gotta change how we do in the comments because we have some. And my father was a 3-time Emmy Award winner for camera and boom. So I grew up in all of it. So Leah, are you okay with telling us who your father is or was? She also says Leah was big in the comments. Leah Jackson. Vela was yeah, I want to know who your father is or was. No, you know, with all due respect. Let's see. We have a comment from Syntax Radio. I almost threw my phone when so how did I didn't mean to come back to this comment. I didn't mean to come back to this comment. I just saw the star, right? This, that said, not your name star, but starred comment. So I'm like, let me just put it up there. I didn't mean to come back to. I almost threw my phone when the history of Harriet Tubman was being debated and conflated. Like, that's real? That's a thing?
Yeah, there was a whole thing. The kids on TikTok were talking about Harriet Tubman was not real. And you couldn't convince some of them that they didn't have proof. Well, how was she able to be a spy? Or how did she, I can't even remember some of the dumb things, but it started to become a thing on TikTok. And this is where I think the people that knew better jumped in and were like, no, this is what you're not going to do. You're not going to spread this narrative that Harriet Tubman did not exist. But it happened. It was crazy. It was
was this year.
That was this year. That was a few months ago.
So, okay. So if anybody that knows me a little bit knows that I have this visceral spiritual connection, like many of us. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I'm saying that mine is a visceral connection to the spirit of Harriet Tubman. And I remember growing up that all we had of Harriet Tubman that we knew about her were those African-American flashcards, the black and white ones. I grew up in the 70s. I'm 57 years old. I grew up in the 70s. So we had the flashcards with all the other black heroes, and we might have had a children's book. It wasn't until decades later that we got biographies, plural, and they all came out at the same time. Maybe that'll be the bookmark next week. They all came out because I remember my mission in life was to tell the story of Harriet Tubman. That was my mission in life because there were only children's books. This was late 90s. Then they all came out all at once, right? And so that people are like, where does this stuff start?
That's the thing. I think it's the contrarianism, the need to be unique, the need to feel like I have something to say, so I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, and the lack of trust, and the media has been such a negative influence that people are like, it's okay not to trust the source. It's okay not to trust science. It's okay not to trust all of these academic scholars or whatever because they think they all of that anyway. Like it's really like that could be a big source of it. It's okay not to trust these institutions that are supposed for us, but they betrayed us, and so people like them out.
Yeah, there's this idea that people who are smart, we think we're better than people, and that's really not true. Like, it's not. I mean, not for a majority of smart people, but yeah, there's that whole like demonizing elitists, so-called elitists, demonizing intelligence. just straight up ignorance, and then the desire to want to be that person that, like, the contrarian, contrarian, just for the sake of being a contrarian, because there's always going to be people that agree with you now with the internet, and the only connection they're going to make is, I agree with you, so you're right, and that's it.
Yeah, that blows my mind. Kevin from my team says the Dunning-Kruger effect occurs when people with limited knowledge or skill overestimate their capabilities.
That's what I was trying to find. There's so much of that now. There's even in the White House. And people fall for it. So my mind is blown, but I want to go back to Leah Jackson. Thank you for sharing that her father is Mel S. Jackson, but he passed in 2019. Was the other comment as well. So wanted to say thank you for sharing. Thank you for bigging up Marcia, and definitely for commenting as well. Like, that helps this channel as well, that you're commenting. And then our condolences to your father, who you shared his work. So here in this conversation. So thank you so much. I just want to go back to this. I didn't know the Harriet Tubman thing. Yep.
Yeah, that stings a little bit. That stings a little bit extra, for me as well.
Even Anne Frank caught a stray that people didn't believe she was real.
Yes, that is true. I remember.
And people was questioning whether or not she was real. Thank you, Aaron. Everybody, that was my one of my producers, Aaron. That was a thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got to use social media for good, right? People like you, people like me, people like Mark, people like all of our teams. We got to use social media for good. We got to hold down the vomits in our mouth. We gotta outshine the negativity. It's a lot of work, but we can't say we give a damn, and we want to support Black people and Black media, and we don't challenge ourselves. If we are uncomfortable with media, we kind of got to get over it. If you don't want to be on social media, then donate to this channel. Like, maybe you're not going to be on social media, but you can donate to this channel, like Micah did, and other places. You can support Akilah Work Songs. If because we're going to be out here, right? You can buy Star's novel. You can use Marcia's code. Like, there's ways to support. If you can't hold down the vomit in your mouth and log on, you can't. You cannot log on. But we'll take your $3. We'll take your $3. Star, thank you so much. I need this laugh. You're going to come back, yes?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Even if I'm going to the last minute.
Even if it's the last minute, yes. If I can do it, I'll do it. I'm revamping some things as a writer. I'm back into being a writer, journalist. Like, I had a nice little break, but life be life, and the job market is different, and so I'm back writing and freelancing and all the things.
Okay.
So I will be back for sure.
Okay, so we'll have you back for your commentary, for your insights. That's important. We love your energy. We thank you so much. So I'll try to give you more than 15 minutes notice.
It's fine.
But everybody, so Star, you can hold on, but everybody go to the Ascending playlist. You can see all of the episodes that we referenced here. The Ascending playlist is on the Marc Lamont Hill YouTube channel, of course. So definitely go there, check out those episodes. The previous one, this is episode 30. So you can look at the other episodes for sure. We also want to share, we're going to close out early. I'm not going to get to all of the pennants, but let's put up the pennant about Jazz in the Valley. This is Jazz in the Valley weekend. Star, have you been to Jazz in the Valley?
No, I have not.
Okay, so Jazz in the Valley celebrating 25 years. We had Greer Smith, the founder. I really love bigging up Black women. I know it's a bias, but I don't care because I know I'm all about balance and whatever, but sometimes balance is having 15 shows on Black women. The balance. So Greer Smith was here last week. No, the week before. Jazz in the Valley is this weekend. Today is the free event, but tomorrow you can get to Poughkeepsie. upstate New York, the train ride is amazing. The train ride to
Yeah, it's
Poughkeepsie
quick. Yeah.
from New York City is amazing. Use the tomorrow, Sunday, the 17th, is the ticketed events. Let's put it back up one more time, please. The code where you can save is JITV 25. Y'all are going super fast with these banners. Okay, leave it there for a minute. The code is JITV 2025. Use that code when you go buy your tickets. JazzInTheValley.ny.org is where, tell them April sent you. But you're going to love it. It's an amazing experience. So we wanted to definitely share that. And all the other pennants, guys, let's not do any more pennants. Let's just close out because now I just need to go lie down in a fetal position and just cry because I didn't know about Harriet Tubman and Anne Frank. They were figments of our imagination, I guess. Damn the science, damn the history. So I'm going to go cry. But sorry, no, seriously, thank you so much. We'll have you back. Everybody, thank you for watching Ascending. We are here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, live, without fail. You can watch us live. You can watch us later. Just watch us. Just comment. Just subscribe to this channel because that one click helps support independent Black media. Thank you to everybody. We will see you next Saturday. Follow me on social media, April R. Silver, and my company, Aquila Work Songs. And our website is aquilaworksongs.com. On that note, family, we will see you next week. Stay up.